So that seems to be working. Do do do. Let's see. Let's. Okay, so 5. That's a good KP. Yes. PC is not being too overtaxed. No drop thing. Good. Go to dashboard. My last stream hit a record peak. 2 viewers. Woo! Stream manager. Pull the chat up just in case. I don't think it's going to be a need, but still. Hmm. Why is... Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Why is it doing that? Okay, so yeah, so it's not just me. It's for some reason it is actually like, all right, so are we who just pinged me? All right. Okay, so it decided to unfuzzle itself. Good. Let's say the broadcasting is not that bad. Hello. Me, Bobo. So my players are currently not feeling very well. One had a bout of narcolepsy, and the other one had a bout of brain getting slammed into the skull and wanting to ice pick themselves. So we're back to obvious mimic, which, as we last left off, it was day 1 of the obvious mimic in the Wolves of Langston. The Wolves of Langston is a murder mystery where little Miss Ray of Sunshine was somehow brutally murdered and left. Her body was given a closed casket ceremony. Um, and so far, I have narrowed it down to 50% of the population of the town has a reason to kill this wonderful woman. So there's that. We had had a fight at her ex-fiance's place, uh, which could have been an assassination attempt, or he could just have been that incompetent. And we had gotten back, and it was a short rest. Uh, so I'm going to take and use one of my hit dice for a short rest to heal up. As a warlock, I get all of my stuff. Oh, and I got a 6. So, yep, I'm good. And I've used 1 hit dice. So, right here. We'll put that there. And we'll put that there. Now, work that up. Alrighty then. Okay, we are in the wrong position. do that. So we are at 93. What is 93? Gain the benefits of a short rest. Rolled a hit dice, got back 6. Well, 6 plus change, and I was only down 5, so good. You awake with the moonlight streaming in the window. It's a beautiful, clear night, but you feel the back of your neck prickle. After walking to the window, you look across the cobblestone streets to the roof of the neighboring building. A hunched, hairy shape is silhouetted against the night sky, lined in the moonlight. Though its face is obscured in shadows, it's a werewolf. It's literally, Veritas is like, oh, a werewolf. Though its face is obscured in the shadows, its eyes burn with a golden fire. Ah, great golden fire. Whatever it extends along a powerful arm, whatever it is, it extends a long, powerful arm in your direction and waits. The rooftop is across the street and angled slightly upwards from your second story room. You can open the window. Why would I do that? And call out to the creature, call out for help, or charge and attack the beast. Let's see. Looking at the character, you're obviously the murderer. I will charge and attack the beast. So go to 94. Gain inspiration. Cool. You bolt out the door and thunder down the stairs. Why don't I just go out the window? Okay. Maybe I'm not completely insane. Bursting out the front door to scan the skyline, but the creature is gone. When you turn around, the innkeeper is standing in the threshold of the nightgown, holding up a lantern in one hand. He's staring at you with a visible concern. It's fine. I did not actually see a werewolf or the murderer. I'm just taking a nightly constitution. It's an elf thing. Sure, everything is fine. Return to your room and get some more rest. Go to 89. Or if you return to your room, bar the doors and keep watch, go to 55. Alternatively, you could tell him to go back inside before you investigate where you last saw the monster. Go inside. There's a murderer out there. I'm going to 87. 87. You walk over to the building where you saw the creature and look up for a way up the roof. The timber wall construction offers lots of handholds, but it's not exactly a ladder, and the darkness makes it more challenging. I can see in the dark. Roll a strength athletics checks to scale the wall. If you roll 12 or more, go to 96. If you roll less than 12, go to 59. Yeah, I'm just going to try to climb up. Sure. What is my athletics? Well, it didn't dump strength. I also have athletics. All right, yeah. Sure, let's roll. Roll this beautiful bean footage. Plus 4. 18 on the die, so 22. Yes, I definitely beat 12. I didn't even have to use the inspiration. Go to 96. The rooftop is quite easy to navigate once you're up there, and you're able to reach the location where you saw the creature easily enough. What appears to be long claw marks indicate definitely werewolf. Here's claw marks indicate the space very clearly, but there aren't any claw marks anywhere else. Someone isn't doing their claw nips. You look around for any other clues that might point you towards who or what you're dealing with. The werewolf. Roll an intelligence investigation check. Get 10 or more, go to 68. Get less than 10, go to 82. Investigation. Woo, I am not that good at that. So let's see. I don't have proficiency in it, and my intelligence is 9. Sherlock Holmes, I ain't. frustratedly in my dark, emo elf that is not Dro. Investigate. And got an 18 on the die with a -1. That puts me at 17. So I did get more than 10. 68. Gain inspiration. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, inspiration. Put that there. And yes, before you're like, oh, you can't have more than one inspiration. Obvious mimic, since you're by yourself, allows you to stat inspiration. On the roof tiles around the claw marks, you find smears of what look like black earth. Oh, werewolf or druid. There's a faint smell of rot to it, but otherwise, just appears to be unusually rich soil. You also find a few tufts of coarse animal hair, but only in that location. After handling the fur for a moment, it disintegrates into a shimmer of moonlight. That's creepy. Examining the rest of the rooftop shows one or two more smears of dark earth, but no other hair. Yeah, they're not going to be putting loamy soil on their roof. Finding nothing else, you decide to retire to the inn. You carefully make your way back down to the building and go back to your room, locking your door and your window. You can either try to keep watch for the creature's return or try to get some sleep. Um, hmm. Let's see here. She's a warlock, and she's also a Shadar Kai elf. Technically, I've already had a long rest because I only need like 4 hours. So, what I'll do is I'll stand watch and like, uh, yeah, I'll stand watch. Get the benefits of a short rest. Okay, sometime in the darkest hours of the morning, it starts to rain. Comes down hard for a while, streaking the window and panes as you watch. There won't be any trace of whatever you saw now. Eventually, the day dawns, but it's clear and you hear clatter outside your door. Got rid of everything. Technically, I should have also gotten the benefits of a long rest, but still. Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, the only thing I've really spent is a hit die, so that makes sense. We'll reset that. Go to 107. A cold breakfast is just outside the door of your room. Yes, cheese, jerky, fruit, which you eat as you go. The common room is empty and the streets are quiet. The wagon laden with flowers from the funeral still sits in the inn. Are you going to get rid of that? You remind yourself of the purpose here and head out to the town to speak of the druid. You get to the path of the druid's grove marked on your map before leaving town. Go to 108. Okay, so you leave from the southwest and cross the river onto this seldom used dirt road. Do I have the map? Um, NPCs, NPC tokens. Those are the battle maps. Oh, well, I did not. It's fine. Book. You leave from the southwest and cross the river onto a seldom used dirt road. You walk along the road until you reach the path leading to the Druid's Grove. The path to the grove winds through an old growth forest. It is beautiful and peaceful beyond your expectations. How wonderful. It's so lush and alive. Unlike home, which is all dark and spooky and nothing lives. The shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy to a damp, dapple forest floor of pillowy moss. Everything is rich and brown and shining green. But something is wrong. Ah, yes. Silence hangs over the wood like a shroud. No birds are singing, no insects are humming in the undergrowth. That's. Oh, wait, it's not my fault this time. Not even the distant cow of ravens break the stillness. Something is very wrong. You walk through the eerily quiet woods. Sunlight jabs through the canopy, creating little pools of light everywhere, but the lack of sound is unnerving. You go into the woods anyways. I have no self preservation. Picture of the woods. Shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy of the forest. Dark, thin trees surround small glade with overgrown grass, weeds, and mossy rocks. Red mushrooms are scattered about the landscape. A small path leads onward. Wolf's tracks on the way. You left that part out. You move unbothered. You move unbothered south along the path through the silent woods. Eventually, you reach a clearing. At first, you wonder if this is Druid's Grove, but it's just a place where trees have given a little room for grass to grow. This seems like a good place to stop for a moment and have a drink from your water skin, but you do a quick spot check for threats first. Um, Intelligence, nature, or wisdom, perception. Intelligence, nature. That would be -1 to the die, or perception +2. We're going to go with that, and it's going to be greater than 15. I have 2 inspiration, so I got 15 on the die. That means I got a 17. Yeah. So go to 55. Lounging in a nearby tree, you see a single tiny beast with leather wings folded over a rounded body. Its long, sharp proboscis dips as it dozes. It's holding itself in the tree with clawed legs. Oh, a sturge. It's a sturge. While it hasn't noticed you enter the clearing, it sees you now. Remarkably, however, you have a clear shot. I do have a ranged attack. It's a Eldritch Blast. If you have If you have a ranged attack, you can attack it once with an advantage as a surprise round. It approaches within melee range of the first round. Go to 144. All right, so since I'm a little bit higher level, what we will do. Okay, so what we will do is there'll be a couple sturges. Like, eh. Let's see here. Going to Cobalt Fight Club. Uh, one player, level 3. Uh, Sturge. Sturge. Let's get that. Trivial. Easy. Okay. We'll do 3 Sturges. They do have an action economy on me. The Sturge is some unholy union between. Sturge is some unholy union between a bat and a mosquito, but it also looks forceful. Its wings are haggard and there's some ragged edges to it. Lacking color, the tiny creature is obviously ravenous. It fights you to the death. Okay, so it's 3 Sturges fight me to the death. Um, let's do this. And we will switch from this nice music. What we will do. Yeah, let's try that. Um, we're going to hide the Adobe. And we're going to go with opening up here. Just move you over here. Uh, let's see here. Copy, paste duplicate, paste duplicate, and then we'll go whoop, and then we'll go whoop, dunk. Um, battle maps. 144. So we're here, and okay, you guys are dunk. Get with the program. We'll just guide you down to. Let's try this. Ah, okay. No, thank you. Go here. And what is their move speed? Plenty. Um, so on an advantage round, I will get. I will do a Eldritch Blast at advantage on the lead one. That is 10 or 11 plus 5 to hit. That definitely beats their 14. Now, for the first one, I draw my blade, and using it as a foci, uh, target the lead Sturge to blast it with a spell. Arcane energy flows through, and a dark shadow hits it squarely in the chest for a lot. That's 7 on the die, so that would be plus 3, 10. So splort. All right, so so that is a surprise. Um, now let's get initiative rolls. So I go in 10. They got 2 17s on the dice. Oh yeah, so it's Puritas is at 10, and they both got 17, so that makes it easier. Sturges at 20. Um, their actions are to move to melee and then make an attack roll. Um, bonk. So let's go with bonk. Let's get you. Yeah. Since they can fly, they don't have terrain. Okay, that's not fun. I'll just handle both of their attacks simultaneously. That's an 11 and a 20. So with their note, they do not crit normally, but one of them does roll damage normally and gain temporary hit points equal to the damage roll. So the other one was 14. That one does not hit my AC. Um, so one of them does a D4 plus 2. That's top. Does 2, so 4. So I take 4 points of damage. And one of them has 2 hit points, and the other one has 6 hit points. All right, my go. See what spells I have. Shield, Hex, Hexblade, Westful Smite, Eldritch Blast, Booming Blade. Booming Blade hits itself, so I will make an attack roll. Uh, I will cast the Booming Blade cantrip and make an attack roll on the one that actually struck true. That's 11 plus 5. So does that hit their? Yeah, it does hit their AC 14. So I'm two-handing and I'm two-handing the sword. So there's a 3 plus 3. So that one goes and explodes in bloody viscera. And sure, I will stand my ground and take my arcing blade and try to defend myself against the Sturge. So it's a new round. Sturge gets to go. It's going to try to stab me. I got an 18 on the die. So yeah, it stabs me for 5. So I am down 9 hit points, which I'm going to counter with a booming blade. And I rolled a nat 1. So, I have inspiration. I'll burn one of those inspirations and roll a nat 1. The Sturge cackles at my incompetence. With its little beak, he goes. I'm like, okay, fine, yes, stab me again. New round. The Sturge is trying to suck me dry. The 17 on the die roll. Why can't I roll that for myself? So it does a d4 plus 2. That's 4. I'm not liking that. That's 15. All right. Um. Hmm. Yeah. No, I don't need to pop Devil Sight just yet, or that wombo combo. I will attempt to stab you again, and I will burn my other inspiration because I got a 2 on the die. Got an 8. That's 13. Still miss. All right, so down 2 things. This is not looking well. Maybe I should have popped my inspiration or popped my dark vamp ability. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look up Shadar Kai's abilities before I Hexblade's Curse, Devil Sight, Gift Release. Yeah, I'm going to Bamf 30 feet as a bonus action. But a Bamf is a bonus action using the Raven's Curse or the Raven Queen's Blessing. Yeah, the Raven's Curse. And now I have resistance for a hot minute to all damage. Which new round, it has a move of 30. It gets back up on me. And let's try the beautiful bean footage. Finally, a miss. Um, I don't really need to do extra damage because I probably can kill this thing. So I will attack it, and I will drop my die, and I will get a 4, which is a 9. So I will terribly not do well. Oh god. Okay, new round. Um, I'd already used my Bamf ability, so I don't have that bonus action. Um, let's see here. That is a spell. Okay, I can do. I've got one more thing I can think of. All right, so it tries to stab me again, zooming in, and gets a 13. It glances off the breastplate, which should I do it? All right, no, that because it's an action. I'm just gonna try to again booming blade this guy again. 8, 13. We're doing a wonderful job. Nope. All right, new round. Gonna stab me again. 4, 14 plus what? 14 plus 4, 18, 19. Okay, miss. Thank God. All right. You know what? Yeah. Um, Pure Test, seeing that this is going atrociously, she's going to drop one of her spell slots, and she's going to cast Darkness on herself. Now that she has Devil's Sight, her eyes glow as everything around her is enveloped in magical darkness. The Sturge cannot see me. I can see him. That is my action. Um, for my move, what I will do, I will freaking move 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It can take an attack of opportunity at, or yeah, an attack of opportunity at disadvantage. That was disadvantage. 7 plus 4 is 11. It does not hit. I cannot believe I'm using a second level spell against Sturges. All right, so I've used one of my slots, but I'm also down 15 hit points. So, darkness is I forgot the darkness effect. I should have edited that. Oh well. It, however, since it can see the large swath of darkness, flies in and makes an attack at disadvantage, which I got a 1 on one of those, so that's good. Which I will make an attack counterattack since I can actually see it. It's the Sturge flies into the inky darkness of the magical spell, trying to track via the scent of Kirites's blood, which is leaking everywhere because Sturges have little surgical proboscis, and misses drastically as it is. She parries with her blade. Um, she's going to then proceed to try to chop its head off. So an 8 and a 9. That is a +5 to hit, so 9, 14. Oh, sweet by the gods. That does actually hit. Two-handing with a booming blade. Her arcane blade arcs energy, and finding a true home, and snicker snack with a 12 points of damage. It is dead. With that, all 3 of the Sturges go down, and Pyritus stands bleeding, covered in darkness, down 15 hit points and 1 spell slot. Woo! That's about half of her hit points since she's level 3. And 1 of 2. Yeah. Whew. Let's get that. And then okay. Oh yeah, you're just that. We will go with close that. Close that. And then we'll open that. So let's go. Roof. If you reduce the Sturges to 0 hit points, go to 138. I did, but Jesus. If you drop to 0 hit points, go to 115. Talk. Gain inspiration. Yes, I did. I don't think I worth the inspiration, but you knock the bloodsuckers out of the air. If they fall to the ground, twitch a couple times, and then lie still. The clearings still seems like a good place to take a rest. As you rest, however, the sound does not return to the woods. The Sturges were not the cause of the unease. Gain the benefits of a short rest. Yes, I will. I will use 2 of my hit dice. 3 and 2 plus your con. So that is 6 and 5. That's 11. I'm down 4. And I've got both my spell slots back. When you're ready to move on, you continue towards the Druid's Grove. Pyrrhus bandages her wounds, proceeds to start putting various neosporin on things, dabs them. Then I proceed to eat a sandwich before heading out. Go to 150. 150. Bonk. Aren't you fabulous? After twisting and turning, let's see here. Bonk. Isn't that just a fabulous little red guy? Bonk. After twisting and turning a little way through the woods and calming down after you run in with the Sturge and leaving vast amounts of Shadar Kai elf blood everywhere in the woods, you reach the edge of the trees above what could be only a druid's home. The woods open up to a pasture dotted with wildflowers. A craggy outcropping of stone jumps up from the center, and it looks like if there's a small kitchen's set up under an overhang with a hammock, a table, and a chest. You just cook out in the wood. Okay, cool. Looks like a naturally occurring lean-to or cottage with most walls missing. The druid is nowhere to be seen. I'm thinking that's the druid, but okay. You clearly see that the ground is occupied, however. Near the outcropping, you see a medium-sized wolf. The animal is stalking, slightly red in color, and hasn't noticed you yet, although it raises its head to sniff the air from time to time. I'm going to say that is the druid, because he had a red beard, a towering red wolf with bright orange eyes and sharp black claws. The wolf stands on the rock surrounded by tall grass, weeds, and pink and yellow flowers. See, I can either be sneaky or just stride into the grove. Considering I think that's row, I'm just going to walk in and just kind of be like, I'm done with this. Bonk. You enter the grove without any attempt to hide your presence. The druid clearly enjoys the sun, as the grove is a large clearing. Clumps of flowers, both wild and cultivated, dot the space, and the stone outcropping. Cabin stands at the center of the natural beauty around you. As you approach, the wolf, much more powerful looking up close, stalks into view from behind the druid's home. Its head is down and its hackles are up, and it's not baring its teeth at you. As you and the wolf look at each other, you also see the muzzle is smeared and speckled with what appears to be fresh blood. You can either approach the wolf peacefully, it's already got its hackles up, and this is its home. Again, I think it's the druid. Or attack it, go to 130. I'm going to approach the. I'm here to talk to the druid. That's a wolf, which also has the same hair as the color as the druid. I'm going to go to just approach peacefully. The wolf looks quizzically at you, clearly confused about what to do next. It's like, probably because this emo elf is like, "Hi, Roan. Like, look, I need to talk to you." And the wolf, clearly confused about what to do next, but also not attacking. He flicks its ears and appears lost in thought. You have any rations in your pack? I literally do. You could offer some food to the wolf. Alternatively, you could try to communicate with the wolf by speaking to it normally or with the spell ability allowing you to speak with animals. I'm just going to talk to them and also offer them food. Rowan, please shift back to your normal form. I need to talk. Here's a sandwich. I pull a sandwich out of your pack and put it in the ground for the wolf to eat. Um, okay, one ration. And gain inspiration. Woo! I am back up to 2 inspiration. I will move you to. I need an inspiration tracker. Actually, I just need a status tracker. The wolf sniffs at what you offers and takes a bite. This is very awkward, Roan. Shift out of your wolf form. It nods in appreciation and snaps and snuffles through the meal. When it finishes, it looks up at you, sits on its haunches, licking its lips and nodding. It looks at you expectantly. To use a spell or ability to speak with animals, go to 118. Or use to speak wolf normally, go to 134. Roan, shapeshift back, please. The wolf in the druid's grove seems unusually intent on you and responsive to your actions. You wonder out loud if it can understand you. Roan, this is stupid. It nods. You ask who or what the wolf is, what can understand you. It trots over to the living area under the rock, out crawling, and noses a pile of tattered clothes. A moment later, it comes trotting back with the druidic holy symbol. Drops the holy symbol at your feet. Roan, put on your pants and talk to me. Ugh. Druids and their furry nature. You ask the druid to revert back to his dwarven shape, but he woefully shakes his head. Why? Why are you doing this to me? He trots toward the home built under the outcropping, clearly requesting you follow. Fine. Inside, it is as joyfully sloppy as the dwarf himself. The druid in wolf form pads around for a few minutes and jams his snout into a box of scrolls. After gingerly lifting a few out and unfurling them, the druid places a paw on one. Okay, so you've got some scrolls. What did you cast? Something on yourself? Polyplex, or the doppelganger's curse. Polyplex is a blood-borne disease that affects those who can innately change into. Oh no. Change their shape. Doppelgangers, dragons, if they contract it, and even unfortunately members of druidic circles. Sir, I thought they warned you about being promiscuous. It causes sporadic, uncontrolled shapeshifts that persist as long as the disease itself, which can last weeks before recovery. In extreme cases, delirium and even memory loss can occur. Spiritist narrows her eyes, which are still glowing red, at the druid. Really? I am the goth elf, and you're telling me that you occasionally forget things and are currently in the form of a wolf? Following the description of the disease, there's a recipe for a decoction, including wolfsbane, sage, and hornwort. So, sir, no offense, but you just jumped to the top of the list of the murderers. Bane, sage, and hornwort. Where were you on the night of her, disembowelment? And also, do these things grow nearby? Oh, yes. Thank you, doggy. Thank you for nodding. Um, actually, see, do I have the handout? Uh, I'm just going to do this. Hey, buddy. I knew I should have cut out a picture of the wolf. Um, let's see here. We're just going to move this group up above the Adobe. Bonk. Um, you also ask if the herbalist will have them. He gets another emphatic nod. You can take a page from the book, and you ask if you take a page from the book, and the wolf nods. Okay, so I have the cure. So, buddy, what about the blood on the muzzle? Got anything to say about that? Um, I'm going to first ask, are you sure that it's the polypox? And what's my nature? Oh, no, we're going to go straight to the guy. Um, yeah, I'm going to ask first. The wolf stares at you for a moment and then starts to vibrate. Its form softens, its bones and muscles move. And then with a sneeze, all motion stops. Ah, so that's why you were sneezing. You can try to find the herbs yourself or go to the town and get them from Tomlin. Hey, look, bud. I do not nature here. Nature from my home plane is a lot different. So I'm going to go talk to the fuck boy. Probably wouldn't be the first time someone's asked him about STDs. And I'm going to just go there. You return to Tomlin's cottage near to get any of the herbs you're missing from the polypox cure, which is all of them. You arrive and you knock, and Tomlin answers alone. Ah, see, you're not treating any young ladies. I am currently in the need, and don't ask why, of wolfsbane, sage, and hornwort. Ah, so let's get the. So yes, woo. Enter in the fuckboy. Oh well, that would be easy to get a hold of. Why do you need it? I literally told you. Do not ask why. I do not. I do not release information of my patients. Just give me the medicine. If you want to, oh well, that shouldn't be hard. Which one do you need? All of them. Start with sage. I have some sage growing in the garden, but part of the trellis has fallen onto that plot. Tomlin says. Aren't you a big, strong man that doesn't need no woman? Can't you fix that yourself? He then hands me a hammer and some nails. What do you want me to do with this? Many hands make light work. If you can fix a bit of that fence, you can take as much sage as you want. Oh. He leads you to the garden and places needed prayer. You can't stay. He can't stay and help though. Sorry, you just gotta go. Gotta follow my K-pop stands. Very delicate brewing and needs to stay near the filtration system. Roll a dexterity check. Ay, ay, ay. Let's see here. Spelljamming vessels, navigator's tools. That's not navigator's tools, and um, we'll go with the dexterity check. I do have two things of inspiration. I'm going to use one of them. 16. So that's 18. So we are down to 1 inspiration. You were able to get the trellis fixed in short order. Tomlin appears just as you're putting the last nail. Add sage to my inventory. Sage. Day labor. Get hornwort. If you still need it, you can get hornwort or wolfsbane. Go to 159. As hornwort is an aquatic plant, Tomlin can't grow it himself and needs to get some from stock. He's expecting a shipment, but it's in high demand. He asks if you help him cover some of the costs of collecting the herb. Here is money. I am not going to earn it from you. It's so expensive. You could do some things for me. No, here's money. Add hornwort. Remove money. That is perfectly acceptable. Add hornwort to your inventory. Remove 1 silver piece. Thank you for this generous donation. Wolfsbane. So the last thing, what do you need for wolfsbane? Oh, I have lots of dry wolfsbane. I just can't handle it right now. Tomlin shows you a bandaged hand. Hurt myself in the fight against the scrapling. Sir, I was there. That's a poisonous flower, and I wouldn't want to get any of it toxins and open wounds. He leads you. Oh, I was literally there, buddy. Your hand was not hurt. Instead, he leads you to the cottage and points at a bundle of flowers drying in the window, inviting you to collect some yourself. Roll a wisdom medicine. Oh no. Okay, I have one. I have one left of inspiration, so I will burn it for 16 on the die. With my wisdom bonus of nothing, that is a 16. Oh, it's a wisdom or dexterity check. I'll go with dexterity because I don't have medicine, and that's 16, 17, 18. If you get 15 or more, under Tomlin's watchful eye, you manage to safely collect the wolfsbane. Weep. I have all the ingredients now. If you have everything you need, you can return to the druid's grove. All right, buddy. Thank you for all this, free labor and all that money. If you'll excuse me, I have to talk to a man about a horse. See you there, bud. That's okay. I will sit here and pine. Oh, woe is me. If there was only such a beautiful woman. He looks at me. Go away. I flee the man whore who is literally banging every woman in town. Especially since my character is a woman with a charisma of 17. Flee. So go to 140. When you arrive in the grove, Roll is waiting for you in wolf form. Sup, furry? You have no idea what I had to go through for this. What is it? Is tea? Oh wait, I need to brew this. Okay, yeah, you don't have thumbs. So yes, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. You do, of course, realize that actually drinking this in the real world would kill you, right? Like some of these things are not good to just make tea out of. Looking for a teacup, you can't find one, and you just pour the steaming bitter brew into a bowl of questionable cleanliness. This does not seem to bother the druid. Oh my god, dude. I would say touch grass, but you touch grass too much. Stop touching grass. After you finish the bowl, the druid lies down and you follow suit. Oh yes, it's been a day. After an hour or so, Wolf's form starts to ripple and shift. Roll gets up and paces, a low whine escaping his throat. Rustling sound like the wind of a tall grass. The fur recedes back into his skin. His limb His limbs groan and pop, crack, crack, pop, fizzle, as they shorten and twist back into his natural shape. Whoa! Free, free dwarf. Oh god. Oh, no, no. Oh god, buddy. Like, dunk. You're just all out there. Sm- Roy ceases to be a wolf and changes back into his dwarf form and smiles broadly at you, despite a red nose and watery eyes. Oh, that's so much better, he says, wiping his nose with his sleeve. Snot and all. That's a first for me. Polypox isn't easy to catch. It's a bloodborne disease. Uh huh. And while there's an elderly sturge in the woods after being abandoned by its swarm, he couldn't have gone far. Don't worry about it. There is no longer an elderly sturge. So with some, so there's some other shapeshifter nearby that passed the disease. Maybe some doppelganger traveling in disguise or a lycanthrope passed their diet. Uh huh. Must be slipping. Thank you, thank you. He thanks you profusely and says he wants to return the favor with a gift. He unclasps a silver star burst bros on his chest and presents to you. This is the silver star. Gift from an old cleric friend of mine. Solane's predecessor at the temple. Since we druids have problems removing curses, he thought it would still be helpful. Still haven't used it, but maybe you can find a use for it. So I got the Scrapling Claw, Filter of Remembrance, and the Silver Star. The druid is happy to have you back anytime you need anything, but if he badly needs rest before you return to Langston, you can ask him a few last questions. Yeah, let's go with. All right, so pulls out an arm. About this, I understand it goes with my aesthetic, but why did he give it to me? Pulling out the Scrapling Claw. You ask if this could have been the killer, and Roy shakes his head. Not a chance. This is a wee little thing. You should look at what's left of the girl. You'll see that those poor victims were mauled by some beast much larger than this. But this could still be of use. He asked for the claw. Okay, here you go. What do you mean? More victims? She's not the only one that has been killed? You hand it over. He begins softly chanting in druidic language. The light yellow motes of the energy coalesce around the limb, whose claws now are tightly bound in the leather strap. He hands you the dismembered limb. The scrapling claw now acts as a magic club +1 for the next week. After a week, its energy will fade. Duly noted. I normally use swords, but sure. +1's club of scratching. I hope this helps for a bit of adventure. Now, until I see you next, I must rest. If he hasn't asked yet, you can find out when he got sick, or if you want to give him some rest, you can return to the inn and get some rest yourself. Gain inspiration. I'm going to ask, yeah, when did you get ill there, sir? I can't really say when I got sick, but I'm pretty sure I started feeling a bit sniffy around the new moon. It takes a couple weeks for it to start sneezing and changing, though. Yeah, how would you do you have any knowledge of amnesia? As far as I can't tell, there's no gaps in my memory. Wasn't even sneezing or anything by the time the moon was full. Only just today did I have the first uncontrollable change. Am I a suspect now? Yes. He laughs. Um, this is not funny, Roy. I've suspected you since I first saw you. Um, You ask if polyblox has anything to do with werewolves in. A werewolf, any lycanthrope, can definitely get polyblox, but just be a carrier. It's tough to say. But I do know it's a bloodborne disease, and I haven't been fighting anything with fur these past months. Probably that old sturge in the woods infected me. Got me pretty good one time. Did Maybelline die on the light of a full moon? Now that you mention it, yes. Wonderful. The young lady died right around there. Then, maybe in the night of the full moon, but you might be onto something there. So I have a +1 weapon, and okay, so you were infected, but you claim to have no gaps in memory. Uh, okay, you're still on my list. Um, and I will wish him goodbye and go back to town. You return to the inn for a well-deserved rest after a busy day. Um, you eat a hearty meal alone in the common room before succumbing to exhaustion. Yeah, your rest is interrupted by troubled dreams. In one, you are attacked by rose bushes that claw at you with their thorns. I worked too much at Thomlin. Another, you're running through the streets of Langston on all fours. On a third, you see a hulking shape that woke you before as it watched you from a nearby rooftop. It bears down on you, but you cross over the shaft in sunlight. As the dark beast reaches into the light for you, it starts to crack and crumble. Just as it's about to become visible, you wake up with a start. I get out of my trance with a start. You lie in the bed and you're alone in the room and there's nothing in the window. You may either try to get some more rest or get up to keep watch. I'm going to rest. Despite the interruption, you eventually manage to settle back in. Get the benefits of a long rest. Woot! Everything resets. Okay. So afterwards, you're not entirely rested, but you're better off than last night. You're getting ready for your day. There's a knock on the door. Answer the door. Go to 128. Draw a weapon and answer the door. Go to 162. Or ignore the knocking on the door. I'm distrustful. Stamp my weapon. Calmly sigh. Go to 162. Weapon in hand. You draw. You throw the door open. Hello. Your innkeeper. You scare your innkeeper, and he nearly drops the tray with your breakfast on it. After he hands you your food, he stands there for a moment. Is there anything else? He says there was something he wanted to say but can't remember. Seems you scared the wits out of him. He's just stumbling on the door when you remember the mayor sent you a message. You take the paper out of his trembling hand. He's just stumbling when he remembers that the mayor sent you a message. You take the paper out of his trembling hand and reading it while you eat, and the innkeeper escapes your room. Okay, the note of people. Okay, so the note is a piece of paper with neatly cut edges. There is a new lead that you need to follow. Come to town hall. Okay, 165. After you've eaten, you make your way down once again to town hall. As you make your trip, you feel like you've been starting to see the rhythm of life here in Langston. You are seeing many of the same going on coming from the market. Perhaps people all kinds quietly go about their business. If not for the undercurrent of fear you see in the occasional jump start or furtive look over their shoulder, probably at me. Langston could be mistaken for any of the other sleepy towns in the dot this land, but it's not. It's a place where killers walk the streets at night, beasts invade gardens by day, and druids are trapped within their own powers. And now there's something else. Go to page 1, or go to unit 193. Bonk. I come up to the door. The mayor's aide is waiting for you in the town hall. Bonk. Get rid of you. Bonk, bonk. I'm guessing you're going to be here soon. Let's see here. The mayor's aide is waiting to talk. Oh, you're here, he says. The mayor has been waiting for you. Follow me, please. Go ahead. He leads you into the mayor's office and leaves without a word. The mayor looks up as you enter. Ah, I was right. Bonk, bonk. Mm, let's see. Buttercup maintains his position beside the desk after a perfunctory greeting. Ma'am, sir, Mayor Anthram says that she needs you to investigate abandonments and reasons. Uh, reports are coming in of two strangers that make citizens feel threatened. Yes, I have heard. Likewise, there are a number of farm animals missing. There's also some items of value. The arrival of these strangers are likely related. Maybelline's death could also be related to these strangers. I want you to investigate. I am aware. Insight check DC 15. I do have inspiration. Insight, sure. 2. I will burn the inspiration. 5. I fail. It's clear something the mayor isn't telling you, but it's unclear what it could be. It's also clear the mayor's demeanor that taking on this task is non-negotiable. I looked at the doggo. All right, I'll do it for Buttercup. Look. Yeah. Give me your map of Langston, Mayor Anthram says with an outstretched hand. Once you hand it over, she uses her quill from her desk to circle an area outside of town, the wooded area of the north. I've heard that this is the location that they're in. Search this area for the bandit camp and remove them from the area, by force if necessary. Preferably. This should be well within your abilities. Use the forested paths. People are frightened of the murder and the rumor of bandits, more strangers on the road that could cause panic. Yes, ma'am. It's more of a reflex out of the mayor's raw authority than a conscious agreement. You take the map and say goodbye. 176. Heading north as if traveling to the nearby farmlands, you veer off the road into the woods to the east. You pick your way through the woods. As you proceed, you keep an eye on the sun through the trees and the clouds, seek out any of the landmarks you might see in the map. This part of the forest is quiet, but lacks the unnatural stillness of Rose Woods when he was sick. It's just a peaceful forest full of all the hums and twitters of nearby healthy nature environment. As the river burbles somewhere off in the west, if you weren't marching towards almost certain violence, it would be very calming and hike on a very pleasant day. Go to 215. Bonk. As you make your way through the woods, you come across a ring clearing. Okay, so bonk. There. Saw that and took a snapshot of this. Uh, as you make your way through the woods, you come across a ringed clearing with old trees with thick, gnarled trunks. The birdsong is especially beautiful here with air smells of heady mix of wildflowers and honey. I look for the bees then. Sitting in the center of the clearing on a stump, you see an unusual woman. Her skin is bright green and her hair is a tangle of leaves and moss. She hasn't seen you, her whole attention on a robin resting in her outstretched hand as she laughs and twitters back with the little bird. You have found a dryad, a fey creature with a deep connection to the forest. You can sneak past the dryad, make your presence known, or attack the dryad. I don't want to attack a dryad. Um, Ma'am, I'm here to talk to a couple men about a horse. You know anything? Deciding stealth is for sneaks, thieves, and cowards, you emerge from the woods in full sight of the green-skinned woman in the clearing. She's clearly surprised. The foliage makes up her hair and clothes rustles in a breeze that isn't there, but she seems unafraid. Yeah, no crap. She remains silent and calmly waits for you to do next. You can either try to communicate or attack her. They really want blood. Um, Hi. I'm investigating a murder. You greet the green-skinned woman and ask her what she's doing here in the forest. I meet you, skin person, she says in broken common. Sylvan speak you? No. Uh, no, I speak common and goth elf. Sorry. Common not good me. Sylvan gooder, but talking. Fair. You nod as if you understand, and she continues, I do understand. Bad men there, pointing off into the distance. Mini string, sharp string grab friends. Ah, so they're hunting. She wraps her hands around her own neck and makes sad face. Help us, can you? She says, little friend so sad. I know not fixing how. Bad men now gone, but camp is still being. Soon returning, maybe. Yes, I can actually deal with this. Uh, and confirm that she means the bandits and not the camp right now. She, you, you say yes. You should be able to help her sad little friends and confirm that she means the bandits are not in the camp right now. The dryad nods with a proud smile. For help you. She gives you a small bottle. Drink to beat. Tree skin. Ah. Yes, I do. It's you almost certainly don't understand this one. You touch a potion to your lips to find out what it is. Potion of bark skin. Yeah, I'll just down it. It's probably. So I have a +1 weapon, a stunning phylactery, and a curing of curses, and a bark skin. They are very handy with magic items. Your AC is at least 16 for the next hour after consuming its contents. Where is the camp, dearie? Dryad leads you through the woods, her feet barely making a sound in the underbrush. Cheater. And that you need to at least make an effort to avoid. She leads you as an easy easy entrance point and points where the trees thin into another clearing. This flat patch of earth couldn't be more different from where you met the dryad. The sloppily built fire pit is surrounded by the detritus of several meals, including scorched bones of various sizes and old grayish porridge. Even the local wildlife has steered clear of. Most importantly, the camp is indeed empty and no sign of activity at all. You turn to the dryad to thank her, but she is already Batmaned. She's Batman. Yeet. All right. With a shrug, you slip into the camp to investigate further. Go to 182. Oh, this place is a mess. The camp isn't much of all told. You probably wouldn't think anything of it just stumbling across it side of your own. A competent but not impressive fire pit is set up in the center of the clearing, though no kindling appears to be gathered for tonight. Charred bones from various variety of small animals and other less recognizable detritus litters the ground. There doesn't seem to be any tents, but 2 rough lean-tos have been constructed presumably to keep bedrolls dry in the event of raid. There's very little else that seems important in the camp, although you can see a oilcloth bundle hanging in the tree to keep something off the ground and away from the curious animals. It's tied to a tree trunk with a rough hemp rope. Roll an intelligence investigation check. I'll try. Oh, crap. I accidentally smacked the camera. My apologies. All right. So, oh, gotta get a 12 or better, so I need to get it better than a 13. I got a 4. That would be a no, sir. 223. You search through the oilcloth and rest of the camp without much luck. It's clear from the disrepair of this belonging that these bandits are struggling. However, the oilcloth hung from a tree, you find a leather scroll case containing a rolled sheet of vellum. You see that it is a warrant empowering named. You examine the document. You see that it is a warrant empowering named Horson Tilch, the bandit's name, presumably to collect the bounty. It offers 100 of gold pieces in reward for information regarding criminals' locations and thousands for his or her captured dead or alive. The warrant is for the killer of a constable in Three Rivers. The killer is given the aliens the Wolf of the Road, with a real name you don't recognize that is obviously Orcish. Not knowing what to make of this, you take the document with you until you find more. These bandits have clearly fallen on hard times, as their gear all seems to be tattered and in poor repair. It's likely that any valuables they might have had kept on their persons. Um, so, let's see here. So there's a warrant empowering named Horace and Titch. The bandits' names presumably to collect the bounty. It offers hundreds of gold pieces for information regarding your criminal's location and thousands for his or her turn. So Warren and Titch bounty. The day is growing short, so you start off to town to speak to the mayor. Go to 183. Your trip back to the town is uneventful. As you walk, the roads are empty of other travelers, though it could be explained by the quickly advancing nightfall. You keep your eyes on the tree line too, but no hungry wolves make another appearance either. No one wants to be caught outside in the dark with an unknown killer out there. Fair. By the time you make it to Langston, the sun is nothing more than a faint blush on the western horizon as the stars start specking out. It's later than you'd expected, but you feel the warrant should be discussed immediately. As you arrive in the town hall, the sun is completely gone. The building is dark, but you run into the mayor's aide locking up as you arrive. The mayor isn't here, he says in response to your question. Though she does often stay into the night, she seems distracted after receiving a sealed message earlier today. She wouldn't tell me what's in it, but left a bit shortly after. This is urgent. It not only applies to Maybelline's murder, but also some of the other work that she's wanting me to attend to. He gives you directions to her house and bids you a good night. Giggity. We can see the doggo. As you approach the mayor's home, you see two shabbily dressed men lounging in the entrance of her garden. One is tall and lean with a sharp face that seems to be set in permanent grimace of contempt, so this must be Titch. The other, presumably Horace, has a smug smile on his face as he scratches idly at his protruding belly. I do not think this is good. Honk. Honk. Yeah, this does not bode well for the mayor. Both are both wear equally mismatched clothing and piecemeal light armor, as if everything they have is scavenged from those less fortunate than them. As you watch, the mayor approaches from the other direction. She stops and scowls at the two men. You see her hand strays towards her belt as if reaching for a weapon, but she catches herself and stalks forward. The shorter of the pair waves and waggles his eyebrows. Shorter of the pair waves and waggles his eyebrows. They greet each other, but not in a friendly manner. Bitch, bitch. Though they are too far for you to hear the specifics after a brief exchange, they all go into the house together. Horse leads the way while Titch takes up the rear. Lamplight illuminates the front window. Oh, this does not look good for the mayor. 197. The mayor's house is a large, single-story home with a small, neglected garden and a thick wooden door. Like the rest of the town, it's built on a stone foundation with timber-fraught walls. The lamps have been lit inside and glow through closed curtains. Despite the thickness of the door, however, you can clearly hear voices raised in anger inside. I do not have these tools. You can continue listening to the door, knock, or try to force the door. I'm going to be reckless. I'll try to force the door. What The door made of thick wood with strong iron hinges and fixings. It will be a challenge for you to force open, but you think you can do it. Roll a strength check. If you get 15 or more, go 166. If you get less than 15, go to 208. Okay, well, there's a chance. There's a chance. I do not have inspiration, so let's roll that beautiful bean footage. I got a 4. So we got a 6. You fail to break the door, but you do manage to make a lot of noise. While no one comes rushing out of the darkness, you hear two voices pause. A moment later, the door opens on its own. The leaner of the two men who went to the house, the mayor, I don't know who you are, but you should probably come in. Someone might get hurt if you don't. Is that a threat? The quiet certainty of how he says that makes you feel it's best to do so. No, it's just interesting me. He leads you into the mayor's parlor. On the one side, the second bandit rejoins his friend. On the other side, Mayor Anthram stands at ease with her tactile watching everyone closely. Buttercup could take both your butts. My money's on the dog. Now in the parlor, you can see that the home is well appointed with comfortable furniture and a snug little kennel for his dog. I want to pet that dog. The walls aren't bare and include few oil paintings, some sconces for lamps, and other generic decorations expected from a person in the mayor's position. It's all rather bland, however, as if she selected her surroundings based on someone else's taste, except maybe the stained battle axe hanging over the mantel. Oh, guys, you were so toast. The low fire is just going in the hearth. A low fire is just getting going in the hearth. The two bandits are standing closer to you, between you and the mayor's position with the dog. Yeah, that's cute. The mayor is sitting in the dining room chair, one hand on her dog, as if restraining him by her light touch. Both are still, but with tightly coiled fury. Gentlemen, I am Irites, and I have been tasked with the investigation of a murder. You look like thugs. As you speak, the short, rounder bandit makes an elaborate show of listening and nodding. The taller, thinner one lounges against the wall and rests with the comforting on his knife on the belt. Did you have something to do with that? The chubby one asks his companion sweetly. Maybe a pretty young lady found out that your little town secret while collecting berries in the woods, maybe, or from a conversation in the market. Huh. Mayor Amaranth sits stony faced in silence. Her eyes shift in the middle distance, but her dog continues to vigil in the room. Well, I'm Horace, and this lean looking lad is a good friend, Titch, says the shorter of the pair. Your employer here, well, hells knows what name she gave you, but we know her as the Wolf of the Road. He produces a wanted poster clearly labeled the Three Rivers Constabulary. You mean like the one that I have? There's an accurate image of Mayor Anthram on it, right down to the wounds where her scars are now apparent. Ah, so now your pet sleuth knows. But if you don't open up the town coffers or we don't make it back to the camp by morning, our friends back in camp are going to tell everyone in your town your little secret. And we've got more proof like this. You take this opportunity. Um, I would like to point out I was already at your camp and there are no conspirators. Um, and the warrant is currently on my possession. Mayor, I see. Her smile far more unsettling than her scowl. The two bandits glance at each other, the blood draining from their face. Mayor Anthram pats her enormous dog's head as it begins to growl. You can try to threaten them into running away, 199, or attack them. I'm going to try to threaten them. This is the part where you're outnumbered and you run. So 199. You let the two bandits know that there's only one way to get out alive, and that's to give up now. This one is smart, the mayor says, nodding towards you. Buttercup licks his lips and bares his teeth. Roll a charisma and intimidation check with advantage due to the mayor's assistance. I do have intimidation. It's pretty decent. And I got advantage. so that's a nat 20. So that would be a 25. That's 214. I am literally an extraplanar elf from the shadow plane. You need to surrender. Or swallows with a loud click, even though a seemingly unflappable titch glances for escape routes. You were outmatched when you arrived, the mayor. You were outmatched when you arrived, Mayor Anthem says to the bandits. And now you are outnumbered. You may leave safely, but you must leave now. You need to go. Well, I think that offer looks more generous by the minute, wouldn't you, Titch? Says Horace. His compatriot barely pauses to think before nodding. So suppose you'll be wanting this. He holds up the wanting poster. The mayor speaks in a word in Orcish to Buttercup, and the huge canine pads over to gently retrieve the large sheet of paper. I would have taken that. Horace grimaced in fear as the dog's huge jaws approached his hand before letting go of the prize. So, well, it's been nice catching up, hasn't it, Titch? Horace says with Joe's smile fixed on his lips, but he seems cracking on around the edges. Titch shakes his head. No, I guess you're right. It's been a miserable waste of everyone's time, but I can't fault us for trying. Wolf, or maybe I should say Mayor, just get out. My mind is quickly changing, says Mayor Anthram. With a growl, Horace opens his mouth to speak once more before closing it with a snap. He points to the door, and both he and Titch briskly half jog, looking over their shoulder. You ask the mayor, if it's wise to let them go like that. They're cowards. They're here because they're desperate, but they will not make that mistake again. The door slams, and the mayor turns toward you. 191. Honey, you really look like the murderer. Yeet. Now that you're alone, the mayor Anthram gives you. Now that you're alone, you give Mayor Anthram the bounty. She reviews the letter, and Buttercup's hat over as it lies down. Clearly, you're now on the safe list. I did not kill him, and I do not know who did. He was alive when I escaped with Buttercup. She sighs as she returns to her old battle axe to the mantle. She explains that she was once the leader of a bandit crew for a time, turning to the life of crime after falling into the chasm between orc and human societies. It came to her as naturally as breathing, and she rose up to lead her own band. She went by the name of the Wolf of the Road because she led her pack of bandits to their next meal. They operated in the Three Rivers area, robbing caravans or travelers, and raiding villages. Wealthier travelers became scarce. I was a warrior once, she said, looking at her hands, but then I was just a thief. But when one of the resistance leaders was killed, a constable of Three Rivers and the whole area erupted into open conflict, thinking it was an assassination. In truth, it was Horace and Titch who had broken into his home and tried to threaten him into easing up on the band of thieves. They were overly enthusiastic and beat the man to death, tied to a chair in his own house. I was responsible, the mayor says. They were my men that murdered this man where he slept, but I refused to be responsible for the next one. I used the chaos and the unrest to escape. She took her bandits on an impossible raid of invading force. When her crew was being overwhelmed, she just disappeared into the night, joined the stream of refugees that found their way to Langston, Buttercup at her side. People of Langston assumed she was a veteran, and she never corrected them. She lied about everything the whole time that she'd been in Langston, but she's determined to make things right. But Maybelline had found out, probably from Horace and Titch visiting the market and stirring up trouble. I have changed. I was a warrior once, then a thief, but I was not a murderer. Maybelline did not see it that way. We argued. She did not think someone with my past should be in my position. I disagreed and convinced her that I am better suited to protect Langston from the threats. She says her jaw and then looks at you and sees tears shining in her eyes. I was wrong. The next night, someone killed that girl, and it was not me. A loud crack rings out, and you jump. Turning, you see that the source is Buttercup, who has just snapped what looks like a femur of a sheep in half and licking its own marrow. and this is where we are now. We must conclude quickly before my town loses itself to fear. But I wish to show you thanks for your help. Please let me offer you something from my previous life. The mayor is offering you something to protect yourself or do some damage. I'm going to go with protect. You'd say yeah, I'm already quite capable of causing injuries. Uh, then take this, lifting an amulet off her neck. This will protect you from all manner of beasts. It was helpful when I was training Buttercup to fight. Oh, she hands you the amulet, but Buttercup huffs for a moment before picking his head back down on the ball. Lesser amulet. The beast. Lesser amulet of the beast. A gold necklace with a wolf engraved into an amulet hanging from it. When attuned to this amulet, gain resistance to any natural attacks by creatures with a beast type. This includes attacks made by shape changers and beast form. It does not include weapon or spell damage. Beast half, which both dealt normally. You slip their amulet around your neck. Thank you. Is there anything else that I can do for you? No, she says. That will be all. I trust you find your own way out. It's been an exhausting day. She balls up the wanted poster in the warrant. She throws the ball into a low burning fire and walks away without a word, but the poster rolls out of the flame before it catches. A door closes toward the back of the house. Buttercup remains surreptitiously keeping an eye on you while you take the poster and the bounty, or you place both in the fire. I'm paranoid. Add the wanted poster to your inventory. Add the mayor's wanted poster to your inventory. As you're storing the poster, you see Buttercup staring at you. His gaze follows you as you leave through the front door, the same way the bounce go. A low rumbling growl emanates from his chest as you pass, but he doesn't move where he's reclined. Wanted posters. You never know when you need leverage. Go to the inn for the night. Go to 202. It's late by the time you're leaving the mayor's home. The streets of Langston are completely empty, but the lamps are lit at least. You make your way back to the Pickled Hen. You scan the rooftops and alleys for any return of the creature you saw the other night. You see nothing and do not feel as though you're being watched. In fact, it's a quiet and pleasant night after the hectic events of the day. The only sounds in the night are the hidden crickets chirping and the single low, long howl from somewhere in the east. When you arrive at your room, a tray of dinner that has long gone cold waits for you, and you eat it without really tasting it. Finally, you climb into the bed for some much needed rest, only to be vaguely aware of another howl as in the night as the exhaustion takes you. 2:36. You get. I'm going to go say that this is a good stopping point because it is day. I want to say technically day 3. Day 3. 2:36. You wake feeling fresh and ready for whatever today may bring. Gain the benefits of a long rest. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Your breakfast is waiting for you when you open the door along with a neatly folded letter. He's not knocking this time. Dear adventurer, thanks for your assistance with yesterday's challenges. I hope you are making progress in your investigation into the threat of my town. The victim is due to be buried tomorrow. Visit the temple and examine the body before then. Solane of the Radiant Order has been informed of your visit. Present this note if you have any problems. And it is signed simply as the mayor. Guessing that any thanks at all are the mayor's way of gushing with gratitude, you finish your morning meal and then make your way to the temple as suggested. As I stated, yeah. So with that, we are in day 3. So we found out that the druid's shape shifting is partially due to the simple fact that he had an infection, which might have caused him to lose his memory. We've seen basically a werewolf. We've gotten a magical club. Something that does half makes it to where you take half damage from beasts. A potion that you can throw as a stunning effect. The mayor is the wolf of the two rivers. But she's probably not the one that killed the person. I'm still got my money's still out. There's also that shapeshifter I saw on the top of the roof. So, um, again, this is kind of fun um, for DMs and the like, or people that like choose your own adventure stuff. This is really fun. Uh, this seems like a good stopping point, so I will do this. I might do hop in and do this tomorrow as well. So with that, um, on day 3 of the Wolves of Langston, I say good fight